Hello everybody, I am Daniel Clemens, the HEMA Vtuber. I realized I have not made a dedicated video about my favorite medieval weapon. So here it is, the Bollock dagger. This is a photo of me with my Todd Cutler low status Bollock dagger. And this is the nicest dagger in my collection, and the Bollock dagger is my favorite dagger in general. The Bollock dagger gets its name from its very unique handle design. These handles were typically made of wood and fashioned in a cylinder that has a flared tip or a pommel on one end and two round globes on the end that is attached to the blade. This gives the Bollock dagger a distinctly phallic look. That's right, you are not dirty-minded. This is supposed to look like a dick and balls. A lot of people would write that off as just a medieval joke, but I don't think it is a joke. I think the Bollock dagger is shaped like this because this specific design makes the dagger the most effective weapon possible for somebody that cannot afford a better weapon. The Bollock dagger is generally regarded as a weapon of peasants or other low-class people. And I think this handle design really bears that out. Not because it's crass, but because it can be manufactured cheaply and efficiently. Take this hypothetical. You're a yeoman in 1400s England, and your lord rides into town one day and says, "Hey everybody, we are going to fight the French." As a good Englishman, you've been practicing with your longbow every Sunday for years. But what are you going to do if those darn French get too close and you can't fire your longbow at them? Well, that is when you and several of your friends get a big piece of timber, put it on a lathe, and crank out a half dozen of these handles in an hour. Then you take that handle and you attach it to some sort of an old kitchen knife or just about any blade that can work. And there you go. You have a functional sidearm for which to cut down the flower of French nobility. Regarding its use as a combat weapon, the Bollock dagger has several advantages going for it. Even though the handle is made out of polished wood, between the flared tip and the bollocks, my grip is incredibly secure. You can see that better when I open my hand. Due to the shape of the handle, as long as I am gripping it, my hand is not going to slip off the back or down onto the blade. And that is an incredibly important feature when you are trying to stab somebody with it. Now, I know what you're thinking. If this design is just maximizing your ability to hang on to the weapon, why are the balls even there? Wouldn't an hourglass shape be equally, if not more effective? And it would be only when you are using the dagger in a reverse grip. When you are using the dagger in a forward grip, especially with the intent to cut, you can move your thumb up between those bollocks, and this gives you excellent control over the edge of the blade. I've tried cutting tests with several of my daggers, with a cutlass, with a cold steel tonto, and the best cutting weapon I own is this dagger because of the bollocks. The bollocks make edge alignment a breeze. I would be remiss if I spoke about the Bollock dagger as more than a joke, if I did not also mention the way some people choose to wear their daggers. When you wear the Bollock dagger at the front of your belt, it really emphasizes how phallic of an object it is. Some people will call this the proper way to wear a dagger, but when you choose to wear a dagger, however is most comfortable is how you should wear it. However, I do think that this is a very effective way to wear your dagger if you are expecting combat. The main virtue of wearing your Bollock dagger like this is that on account of your dagger being a perfect cylinder and a symmetrical hilt design, when you need to grab the dagger, you can use either hand and it is equally as comfortable and as good a fit for either hand. To illustrate my point, this is a technique from an early Talhofer manuscript. The defender is using one hand to interrupt his opponent's attack while drawing his dagger with the other hand. Now, if I'm wearing the Bollock dagger at the front of my belt, I have a choice between using it with my right hand or with my left hand. It is perfectly as effective whichever hand I choose, which is not something I could say if I was wearing it on either of my hips. So if I am wandering around a medieval town, wearing the Bollock dagger on the front of my belt allows me easy access to it, regardless of which way I am attacked from. And that's it. That's my presentation on the Bollock dagger. And I hope now you feel, as I do, that it is a reasonable, effective fighting tool and not just a medieval meme. I am Daniel Clemens, the HEMA Vtuber. Thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe if you liked how my bollocks looked.